The Lincoln Wishlist sales event is happening now. Here's what's on everyone's wish list. Enjoying holiday jingles with brilliant 3D audio that surrounds you? Check. Watching snow flurries through the panoramic Vista roof? Check. Packing up presents with the spacious Lincoln Splitgate? Check. Everything you want. All standard on the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV. Visit your local Lincoln retailer or learn more at Lincoln.com for exceptional offers on 2025 Lincoln vehicles today.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With the all-new Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from good to excellent. Introducing the new Sleep Score on Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Skating Penguin Network. It is the evening of Monday, November 24th, 2025. We are coming off a back-to-back weekend for the Penguins, a Friday night and Saturday night game back in town after their trip to Sweden. But before we dive in, it is the week of real Thanksgiving here in the United States. We will obviously talk about that. Maybe we'll save Thanksgiving talk for the end to end on a cheery note, as the Penguins did not exactly blow the barn doors off the competition this past weekend. But as always, before we dive into the game, Snail is on the other end of the line out on the West Coast. So we will check in with him before we start talking puck. Snail, how are things out there as we head into this last week of November?
I love this week that we're entering right now. It's like, I don't know about you, Robbie, but I know
it feels like a fake week. Feels like
it's a fake week.
It feels like a preseason week. Like it's like an all-star break week. Like you're just you're kind of putting it in neutral. You get through Monday, you're kind of just putting it in neutral. That's how today was the only day I had to work this week. I don't work until next Monday. So go. I was kind of just at lunchtime, I kind of just shifted it into neutral, put the auto drive on and lean back the autopilot on and just kind of leaned the chair back a little bit, got through the last 4 hours. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a fun week.
It's a really fun week because Sunday hits and every Sunday I get a little taste of the Sunday scaries. But then I kind of thought about it this week and it's like, I have no work this week. I don't have to touch a paintbrush or anything, or my work clothes. They're just in a pile. I don't have to even think about getting into my work uniform. I'm sure for you, you're just hoping today. You're just like, let's just coast today. No one buzz me. No one send me an email of anything urgent. I don't think anyone would either because they're in the same mode. They're like, this can wait till after this week.
The only people aren't in that mode are Canadians and losers.
That's right.
I mean, if you're hitting me up between Monday and Wednesday of the Thanksgiving week, I assume you're Canadian.
You have no idea what this means for us Americans down here, and you're totally out of the loop. And that's a left on red message.
That's a since the December 1st is a Monday, any message between now and then, we'll call that a December problem.
That's a December problem. And so this year we'll actually be hosting at our house for the first time. Kind of it's kind of weird, Robbie, Thanksgiving stuff, and we can talk about this later, but, COVID, we've slowly been reintegrating kind of like family get-togethers. They've never really gotten quite back to where they were pre-COVID. Yeah. And this is kind of the first year that, we moved into a new place and we're like, why don't we just kind of shake things up and have people over here? I got a buddy whose family doesn't live in the immediate area. And I'm like, hey, just come grab a plate, man. Kind of opening our doors to whoever kind of wants to come and hang for the Thanksgiving, watch some football, drink brown liquor. Like, that's what's going on over at our house. So I'm excited for Thanksgiving this year, man. I usually am. I love Thanksgiving. It's such an easy holiday to get behind. Just stuffing yourself. And this year, we're kind of in charge. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, man, it's like, dude, today, I didn't change out of my sweatpants, Robbie. I'm just in sweatpants and t-shirt. I'm doing a little tidying. I'm snacking. I'm, doing a little taste tests of my gravy that I perfected that I make every year for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Watching some hockey games. Watch some Penguins games, which we can shift over into that here in a second. But watching hockey, I love watching hockey games that aren't the Penguins because it's like I can just totally kick my feet up and laugh at the embarrassing stuff that happens to another team, or go, wow, that was a great play. Who is that guy? Like, it's just such an easy watch. So yeah, man, we are in full-on Tesla autopilot mode. No one's in the driver's seat. I'm in the back seat. That's how I feel right now. How are things out east, though, man? What's paint us a picture of what this week's looking like for you, man?
Well, this week it's not too much different than what you're going to be going through. It's a pretty chill week. I said I only work today, so I'm off through the holiday into next week. So I have nothing work-wise. It is basically, kicking back, relaxing, enjoying some time off. This next couple weeks are a nice period of stuff kind of matters, stuff really doesn't matter. It's kind of all made up and kind of it kind of gets lost in a void, a lot of it. So you're kind of just throwing it back, chilling, football, hockey, the sport from the sports perspective. You got decorations, you have more food than you could possibly think of. That's what makes it all worth it, right? We're coming up on, it's a great time of year. We'll get into the nitty gritty of our individual Thanksgivings at the end of the episode. I think last year, Snail, didn't you order out for Thanksgiving last year and it turned out to be kind of a dud?
Yeah, and I knew it was going to be, and everyone kind of knew it would be.
You ordered from a vegan restaurant, correct?
Yeah, a vegan establishment that I believe is a West Coast thing, and we have a location here, and it's in Seattle proper. Yeah, we decided to order out one, and if I could give anyone some advice for Thanksgiving, it would be if you're thinking about getting a catered meal, just don't do it.
Just don't outsource your Thanksgiving.
Don't outsource your Thanksgiving.
Give yourself that. Go get if you're a meat eater, go get a rotisserie chicken. If you're a vegan, go get a tofurkey or whatever is available. Even get turkey or Beyond Meat burgers or something like that. Just don't eat.
Exactly.
Yeah, cook something yourself. Get some. I'm assuming it's really hard to. It can't be that hard to vegan up mashed potatoes.
No.
You just have to avoid the milk and butter, but you can get vegan substitutes for those as well. You can vegan up about pretty much anything in 2025, especially in a place like Seattle where you have I'm assuming an abundance of non-carnivorous establishments. Let's put it like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And we're no Portland. Portland, I would say, is the king of the vegan kind of scene on the West Coast. Portland, you can go to a dingy dive bar in Portland and you could get a vegan. Their kitchen has vegan stuff by default. They don't even advertise themselves as a place that offers that kind of thing. Yeah. But up in Seattle, we're a close second, I'd say. And it is not hard. You could stop into any, out here. I don't know what grocery stores what you got out there, but you stop by a QFC, an Albertsons, a Kroger, a Safeway. They've got a little fridge area, and around the holidays, it's pretty easy to find something. And like you said, Robbie, it's if you can find a substitute for milk and butter, veganizing a Thanksgiving or its various sides, which I'm a sides guy, is really not that difficult, man.
Yeah, I definitely can imagine. I mean, you don't even have to go to a fancy grocery store out here and find a plentiful vegetarian or even vegan options. It would not be extremely difficult if you know what you're looking for specifically. But yeah, so pro tip from Snail: don't just even regardless of what your diet is, don't order your Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Get something, make something yourself. It's going to save you a bunch of it's just going to be more satisfying. Let's put it like that.
It is.
Maybe a lot of disappointment.
And Robbie, I think like you've mentioned it before, like, you know, we're not afraid to cook here. Like, it's not like we're inept in the kitchen. I enjoy the process of experimenting and cooking. And, you know, when you got a routine down for the holidays, which I know you've said before that you and your family kind of have, you've got your staples and I'm sure you guys have assignments as to who's doing what or who's helping who.
Yep.
Just stick to those, man, because there's a reason why they become traditions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody has kind of their lay of the land when it comes to the big food holidays, Thanksgiving probably being the biggest. But yeah, everybody has kind of their roles. They have their assignments. It's like a good game. It's like a good game plan. Like
it is.
You got your shutdown D, you got your puck movers, and you got your goal scorers.
And usually you've got someone who's a little older, a little cranky behind the bench, kind of, you know, morale, maybe a little. This needs salt. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You need a little more salt in this. Where's the pepper? You got someone who's. You've got someone that's at the head of the ship that's not afraid to tap a guy on the back and say that's awesome, or say, hey, we need a little extra salt in that dish there. I don't know what you were thinking.
They know how it works. Yeah,
exactly.
They're well experienced. Their name is etched on the gravy boat quite a few times. Let's put it like that. But yeah, we'll jump back to the turkey talk later, but we're going to get to the real reason we have this podcast at all, and that's the Pittsburgh Penguins. They come back from Sweden, and Friday night. Now I know you watched it later.
I did.
When you told me you were going to start watching the game. I wasn't going to spoil it, but I almost wanted to save your sanity. You're like, I'm just going to start watching the game. I'm like, should I? Nah, let's let him learn on his own.
I watched until the fourth goal against, and I saw it. I understood that I got the lay of the land from that. I think I saw all I really needed to see. I shifted my attention elsewhere.
Yeah, the Penguins against the Minnesota Wild on Friday night. They lay probably their biggest egg of the season to date, and
this is that was thankfully it took until late November for them to have their worst game. Where last year we saw it opening night, and at least this one we saw. It took a while, and it took them coming back from a different continent altogether. I was going to ask you, Rob, because when I texted you saying I was going to tune in till a little bit later, I mean, should we have seen that one coming?
Maybe we should have. They were probably due for that game, whether it was coming off a long break, coming from another country, or on the back end of a back-to-back, or against a team like that always gives them trouble, like the Devils or something, Carolina or something like that. Yeah, I mean, we got to game. I don't remember what game number this even was. But they got to almost Thanksgiving without being shut out this season. They were amazing multiple times by Thanksgiving last year already. They just didn't have it in this game. And it just felt like when they went down early, it was one of those, like, we're going to pack it in and try to save some energy for tomorrow. The worst performance from Artur Shilovs in his short time in Pittsburgh. He gets pulled in this game for Sergei Murashov. But no, it was just, it's one of those games. I mean, I think the only game that I would consider close to it so far was maybe the game against Winnipeg earlier in the month. That's was really the only one. And that game was not great from the start. Two similar games against two similar teams. But I mean, it's just these games are going to happen. The Penguins have done it to a few teams already this year, which is probably more than we thought. They literally just done that to Nashville earlier in the week over in Sweden. They dummied them in the second game 4-0. Big performance there. And in this game, it just does not go well for them. And that game happened. And Yeah, it sucks. They haven't been playing the best hockey, but again, this is a team that is still trying to figure itself out. A lot of guys are injured, so yeah, just an unfortunate game, but you knew it was coming at some point.
You did, and they were also kind of running into a team that's they had a players only meeting on Halloween, I heard. Captain Jared Spurgeon had initiated one of those closed door players only meetings that you hear about in the league. And man, talk about a team that's responded under it's Heinze there, right? Coach Hines, is he the one that's there in Minnesota?
John Hines, yeah.
Hines, yeah, John Hines and Bill Guerin. I mean, they gave reins to the players, and dude, I mean, that team's been really good. So they kind of ran into a buzzsaw. They're coming back from Sweden, hadn't played. You could even argue some of those games over there, like they weren't the most competitive games in Sweden. Coming off playing at Nashville back-to-back games, and then running into a team that's getting things going like Minnesota and that goalie tandem there. I mean, yeah. Like I said, Robbie, we probably could have read the tea leaves a bit on this and said, they're probably due for a dud. But, there's all sorts of optimism in the air this year with this Penguins team. So that's not where our heads are at. No. It's kind of nice to, this, like you said, last year the Penguins had been shut out a number of times. This year, it feels like they're in every game, whether they're playing a Stanley Cup contender, which you could argue this year's the year it's been the most wide open. And I can't even remember how long for, besides maybe Colorado. There's kind of no real head honcho team in this league. But yeah, they were kind of due for it. And, I was kind of trying to, even when I was watching that game, kind of ISO camming, I knew it was a lost cause after that first period, basically. But I was kind of I was reading body language. I was trying to see, if Shelovs is going to respond. I was looking at the Stars to see if maybe they're on the bench barking, trying to get anything going. And I don't know. I mean, Robbie, both of us, we've traveled from across the pond before. Yeah. And I know that is not even if you are in the shape of Sidney Crosby, which I have never even sniffed being close to that, even in my younger days, it's a joke. I've never been in shape, but even coming back from that time zone difference, dude, it takes a while to feel normal again, man. It just does.
It does. It's a huge adjustment, and you don't really realize it unless you've ever experienced it firsthand. But no, the Penguins, they come over, they come back. Yeah, everything's just a little sluggish, kind of playing in mud. It's mud, it felt like. But yeah, it's a
sand in your boots.
Yeah. Cement. Yeah, you got cement skates on.
Yeah.
But it's just a weird, you come back, they left Sunday night, they got home early, after midnight Monday morning Pittsburgh time. Their body clocks are at 7 or 8 o'clock Sweden time, so you have to completely recalibrate basically your entire internal clock, and that takes 2 or 3 days just to get back on normal time coming across the pond. So yeah, just a very not a great performance. And you said this year has not been there's no super dominant team outside of Colorado. It looks like I did see last night that the gap between Colorado and the second place team is the same as the gap between the second place team and the 25th place team.
That's
so
wild,
that
man.
just tells you where things are kind of at with how Colorado's playing right now. I believe they've one regulation loss this season so far. Nate McKinnon is playing out of this world. Colorado, they have one regulation. They've lost 5 overtime games, but they have one regulation loss, 16 wins. They are just on fire this year. But yeah, it doesn't feel like anybody is pulling away. Even Colorado, as good as they've been, are only 7 points ahead of the next closest team. So that's not an insurmountable gap for it not even being Thanksgiving yet. So no, the Penguins dropped game one of this back-to-back to Minnesota 5-0. But luckily they get to wash the taste out of their mouths immediately the next night. Snail's hometown team, and kind of spoiled it there. Seattle is in town for their yearly visit, and the Penguins look much better in this hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you're going to have to find a way to win a game when it goes past 60 minutes.
Yeah, it's one of those things, Robbie, where it seems like every year, and this isn't just a Penguins problem, this is any sports team. You band-aid a problem, another one sprouts back up. It's like your team is always going to have these, like, it's like weeds in your yard, Robbie. It's like, you clean up one part of the garden and then you look over and a little part that's in the shade and you go, oh my God, there's a blackberry forest growing over there. And it seems like this year the issue, goaltending's been good. I think they have the number one power play in the league. I don't know if that's changed since the last time since that Seattle game. But this year it seems that it's the overtime that plagues them. I mean, Letang hit a post in overtime and they controlled overtime until that last minute there. And then it just comes back to bite him. And Montour, probably Seattle's spiciest player as far as talent and grit and just a well-rounded good player, Stanley Cup pedigree. He had a tough game too, man. And he goes down and he buries one. But yeah, man, this overtime stuff with this team, if it goes to shootout, just give them the point because they're not going to win in a shootout. Overtime stresses me out. With all the talent they have, they can't seem to just get it done efficiently when it's in that 5-minute overtime period.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. And this one didn't even go to a shootout. Sergei Murashov got the start in this game after coming in relief the night before. I thought Murashov played pretty well in this hockey game overall.
Agreed. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty good so far, and that's been very pleasant to see. Hasn't really got a chance in the shootout yet, which, I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't. But no, for as bad as they got beat the night before, to go down 1-0 in this game, they do fight back, they do battle back. Sidney Crosby scores, and they kept fighting, and they did have a lead. They let it slip away. They walk out with a point. Not the end of the world, not the result they wanted, but the process was so much better in game 2 than it was in game 1 that, again, a team like the Penguins that we don't really fully know what they are yet, just seeing that process improve, the young guys bounce back, the veterans looked so much better in this game against Seattle than they did against Minnesota. That is all, as much as you want the 2 points, that is your silver lining that you take away is, okay, they didn't win. It wasn't all pretty, but man, at least they can show they have some fight after getting skated off the ice the night before.
Yeah, man, they don't seem as fragile as we've seen in last year.
Like last year, like that game against Minnesota could have spiraled well past leaving the arena that night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Sullivan used to use that word to describe them sometimes. He'd say we're a fragile group right now, and that's the scariest thing you can kind of hear when you're a bubble team is that you're fragile because if you're a bubble team and you know you're not a Stanley Cup favorite, but you're not bad enough to be a bottom 5 team, the playoffs, especially on a year like this, are never really that far out of reach. And the Penguins are showing that they have some resiliency. Yeah, they didn't get the 2 points, but they could have been sulking. They have every excuse to maybe lay another egg right there. You hope they don't use excuses to lay another egg, but there is some excuses there on maybe, still adjusting from coming back from Sweden. Teams historically have kind of had a hard time. They kind of lay a couple of eggs when they come back from an overseas type of scenario, like we just saw with the Pens. Yeah, man, and they're not. They came out guns a-blazing. Sid had an unreal goal, man. That guy is just, I think no one was home when I watched that game, and I think I was just like, Sid's so good at hockey. I think that's just like what came out of my mouth watching him go down on one knee like that, kind of sliding across the top of the crease there. Yeah, man, it wasn't, 80s hockey where the number, I think it was 1-1.
Yeah.
Seattle, oddly enough, they're kind of in the same boat as the Penguins. I mean, they've the record-wise, personnel-wise, quite different, but record-wise, they're kind of similar to where the Pens are at. And yeah, it ended up going to overtime. What do you know? Shocker, I guess. But some takeaways. I thought that, yeah, like you were saying, Robbie, that the pushback there, the fight, not rolling over, not seeming fragile.
Yeah,
huge win for the Penguins there, and like morale wise. And then you've got I thought Murashov played really good, man. Like Seattle didn't go without their chances. I thought that Beniers goal, Murashov, he's 6'2". He's not the biggest goalie in the world, but he's not a small goalie by any means. And he's gonna look at tape of that, and he's 21 years old, man. Like he's gonna things like that. He's gonna tighten up the screws a bit, and he's gonna get his game dialed. It's gonna take. He's gonna have bumps in the road, but that's a goal like that. It shouldn't break a goalie, and a 1-goal game like that. Like man, the Penguins are showing that they're going to come back and they're going to push back, which in prior years has been a big red flag by them, and something that as fans stresses you out. Remember last year, couple of years, if they get scored on first, it's like this team. It feels like they're never going to score. This year, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, that's a great point as well. It just felt like, kind of like the Minnesota game in a way. Like it wasn't going to happen that night. Yeah. Whereas the Seattle game, coming off the night before, what happened the night before, get scored on first, but buckle down, tie it up, just keep battling, get the lead. Yeah, you lost it, but at least this time you hung on and at least got a point out of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, would have loved to see 2, but the whole process just being a complete 180 from the night before, just looking better, looking lively, having some jump. The old guys definitely look like they shook off some jet lag. The young guys look like they had that extra jump in their step. Murashov looked good again. So, yeah, a big promising game from what we saw the night before. And I love what we saw in that game, just the way to bounce back and not let this spiral completely out of control. That is, to me, the biggest takeaway here.
That is the biggest takeaway. The point's nice, but you can kind of just rest easy, I think, this year that you've got a team that's got some spunk, and it's a different team, man. Like, it's so nice to see. Because, I think coming into the year, we always use this time of year as kind of a measuring stick of what you got, and what you've got right now, which this year you could maybe argue American Thanksgiving, the only Thanksgiving that matters, isn't necessarily maybe you push it to Christmas to see what you've got, because it's so log jammed, because you don't really have people kind of pulling away. But if you go by the old measuring stick of American Thanksgiving, what you've got right now is you've got a competitive team with some youngsters that can play, man. So Ben Kindle, he's back in that third line center spot on the first power play, though, which I think you got to note. He's been plucked off Sid's line. And that's not because it's for a lack of him, not being able to connect with Sidney Crosby and Russ. I think it's more of you're spreading out that offensive flair to 3 lines now, because he brings it, man. Every shift, that dude is so noticeable. That guy's so good, dude. I mean, he's starting to become not such a little secret around the league. I hear people talking about him. I hear kind of what's up with this Kindle kid. I mean, the kid can play, dude. Like, this is one of those pieces. Well, last year we were talking about Rutger McGroarty. Like, we'd love to see this guy get more chances. Ville Koivunen, not quite sure what we have in him right now, but last year you like what you see. This Kindle kid coming out of nowhere and playing like this, and you're putting them in places in the lineup to get lines going. I mean, dude, so sick. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. No other way to say it other than he's one of the reasons that this team's chugging.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm trying to think who's that. It's not even necessarily like rookies, but that Joona Koppanen, number 15, big number 15 on the fourth line there. I think he's a fine fourth liner, dude. Like, we don't have to turn this into a negative thing, but I just feel like my observations. I don't know if Hazy has a real a spot on this roster as a everyday player, man. Kevin Hayes is who I'm referring to. Yeah, man, putting him on that second line with Gino and Mantha, I know his size kind of matches what Brazeau kind of got going. He's not even that tall. But yeah, man, I kind of see Hazy and I'm like, yeah, that's a plug. That's a Band-Aid right there for this team right now. I cannot believe coming into the year that this far into the season, I'd be saying we're really missing Justin Brazeau.
Yeah, Man, there's a bunch of guys that are injured right now that they could really use, but Justin Brazeau was one of their like top 5 best forwards when he went down. And yeah, I would not have thought that entering Thanksgiving I'd really be saying, man, they really need to get Justin Brazeau healthy and get him back in the lineup, because this little skid all kind of started when he went out of the lineup. And it's hopefully he's not out too long. He is skating, which is promising. So hopefully it's sooner rather than later that we see him back in the lineup, because he just, not only the size, he makes the job easier on Malkin, but the way that he was scoring, man, those silky mitts were really lighting it up. And unfortunately, he is on the pine right now, healing up. But hopefully, here in the next couple of weeks, we get him back and he can get back to his scoring ways like he was when he left.
What was his timetable? Do you remember?
I
thought it was 1 week. That's what I thought.
No, it was at least 3 weeks.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was at least 3 weeks.
Huh. Just quickly looking up here, I'm trying to see. He's unavailable. Yeah, this was 3 weeks ago. Man, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, hey, shut her down till after Thanksgiving, you know?
Yeah, I don't think he'll come back this week, but he is skating, so that at the very least is the promising in itself.
Even, you forget Raquel's out, dude. Like, yeah, Raquel is a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, it feels like Rickard Raquel hasn't played in barely at all this season. So Raquel, another one that would fit really good alongside Crosby right now to kind of jumpstart that offense a little bit.
Or even on Gino's line or somewhere. You're missing that. You're missing him. Those are two, Rickard Raquel's a 35 goal scorer in the National Hockey League.
Yes.
Brazeau, yep. I don't know if this is is he just like a late bloomer? Like, is this kind of, he believed in himself? Yeah, man, you're missing those guys. And I don't want to shift away too quickly if you're not done yet from talking about that Kraken game, but yeah, dude, I'm curious what you're thinking. Did I see Tristan Broz? It got a call up.
Yeah. So before we move on to that, I will just say here, we'll wrap this up. The doubleheader up real quick. The Penguins lose to Minnesota 5-0. They bounce back and lose a shootout or a overtime game to the Kraken the very next night. So they do get a point out of it. They do bounce back, but now they have Buffalo on the traditional Thanksgiving Eve showdown. Before another back-to-back Friday, Saturday back-to-back. They go to Columbus, and then Toronto comes to Pittsburgh on Saturday. But to highlight the game on Wednesday, Buffalo, it does appear as if Tristan Broz, who we lobbied for last season to get a call-up, will be making his NHL debut against Buffalo. They made the call-up today. Harrison Brunnick and Jack St. Ivany were sent to Wilkes-Barre for conditioning stints, meaning they get 5 games or 14 days down there. And Phil Tomasino went through waivers, and he has been reassigned to the AHL. But the big name here is the prospect, the young forward, Tristan Broz, a former NCAA national champion with the University of Denver. And yeah, he is a guy that we kind of lobbied for last year. He did drop off a little bit in the second half of the season, but he started this year fantastic. He's been even better since Rucker McGroarty came back and joined Wilkes-Barre. But Tristan Broz will get his shot now. And yeah, I mean, Broz is a guy that we've kind of honed in on over the past year or two, and now's his time. The roster spot came available, and Kyle Dubas said he gave Tristan the call, and we should be seeing him in the lineup Wednesday night against the Sabres.
Yeah, man. I thought Tristan Broz, just from watching his preseason, I was really paying attention to him in preseason and paying attention to him. I check the stats every once in a while for the Wilkes-Barre team. I mean, I thought this was a guy that probably should have gotten a sniff out of camp, but there's only so many roster spots. It was a fully healthy roster, except for Kevin Hayes, it felt like. And so, yeah, just a tough lineup to crack. And it's not like he wasn't going to get his opportunity this year, but I'm so excited to see him in the lineup because, you talk about a team this year, Robbie, that has spunk and actually is in the fight and they don't fold easy. This player embodies that exactly. He is an energetic player. He plays with pace, and he's got an electric shot. I'm just curious where you slotting him in. Is he going to go? Do we see Ben Kindle maybe and a little Tristan Broz action on the third line? Have a kid scoring line perhaps? Do you go Connor Dewar back down the lineup and you throw him up with Sid and Rust? Does he maybe take Kevin Hayes' spot there on that second line with him with Malkin and Mantha? I mean, I don't think he's a fourth line player, Robbie. I don't think you put him on the fourth line with Blake Lizotte and whoever is on that line on that given night. I think you put him in the top six, and it's not even throwing him to the Wolves at this point. You just put him in a scenario where he's comfortable playing and where he's excelled before. What do you foresee happening with this? Where would you like to see him put? And what are your overall feelings on seeing one of these exciting prospects that the Penguins all of a sudden have getting the sniff?
At LinkedIn, we know hiring is a big deal for your small business. Sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. LinkedIn uses data that you can't find anywhere else to give you the best candidates, all so you can feel confident you're hiring the best person for the job. And even a little hiring bliss. See why 86% of small businesses who post a job on LinkedIn get a qualified candidate within a day. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/achieve. LinkedIn, your next great hire is here.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes. With hands-free capture on an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
This episode is brought to you by Ulta Beauty. Holiday cheer is here, and Ulta Beauty has gifts for everyone on your list. Treat them to fan-favorite gift sets from Charlotte Tilbury and Peach and Lily. Go all out with timeless fragrances from YSL, Ariana Grande, and Carolina Herrera. And you can never go wrong with an Ulta Beauty gift card. Head to Ulta Beauty for gifts that make the holidays brighter and even more beautiful. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
Well, I'm certainly excited for Tristan Broz just in general. I think it's time another young piece to come up through, and I think that I like the idea of putting him with fellow youngster Ben Kindle to start on the third line. I think his scoring's too good for the fourth line. I think you need to give him as much offensive opportunities as possible, and I think putting him with a Kindle definitely helps that. If he maybe gets a shot in the top six, that is good as well. But I think you'll see him with Benny Kindle, at least to start the game on Wednesday. And
that
then,
would be sick, dude.
Yeah, and then we will progress from there. It'll be interesting to watch the lines tomorrow or today, whenever you listen to this, Tuesday at practice, to see where they put Broz exactly. But I'm very interested to see where exactly he fits in, because I'd love to see him start with Ben Kindle just to kind of get those feet wet and let Kindle kind of take him under his wing a little bit, which is crazy to say about an 18-year-old taking a guy that's actually older than him under his wing. But Kindle...
let me show you how the NHL works.
Yeah, let me show you how the NHL works. By the way, I don't buy shaving cream.
By the way, I'm still not allowed in the bar. I can't.
Yeah, by the
barely
way,
buy cigarettes.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Kindle adapted. He can help these other young guys adapt as much as possible. So I'd love to see him play on a wing with Ben Kindle, a pure goal scorer. Broz has a great shot. He has a nose for the net. So it would be great to see Kindle get an opportunity with him and vice versa to see if they can build any kind of chemistry between those two.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you see him on a line with Ben Kindle, I mean, Yes, Gino is playing himself into another contract with the Penguins at 39 years old. Sidney Crosby still has a couple of years left on his deal, as we all know, as was made it was very public and aware. We're all aware of that. But one day that's going to be your first line, probably, man. Like it's probably going to be Kendall and Broz, and I mean we got to see the kid play first. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but in theory, I mean, that's what you drafted him for. You're going to see him. That's going to be the future right there, playing on a third line as kids. And who knows, one day that's going to probably be the guy going up against Celebrini and Bedard and the new generation that's kind of come through here. So it's exciting stuff as a Penguins because, Robbie, those years, I don't want to say it's not like they went through a true rebuild. And, for all we know, they could still be kind of rebuilding. Like we don't really quite know exactly yet what this team is, but they have taken a step forward. We suffered a couple of years there, and we're all of a sudden the cupboards aren't so empty anymore, and you got some exciting young players. Credit to Dubas, man, because I mean was Bill Zahn a first rounder?
Yeah, he was there. I can't remember if he was the second or third first rounder. It was him and Will Horkoff were later in that first round.
So I mean, you got a couple of first rounders, and Bill Zonnen's getting his season underway. I think he had some injury, did he not?
He did. Yeah, he missed most of the preseason.
So Bill Zonnen's getting his Quebec Major Junior Hockey League season underway. Horkoff is lighting up the NCAA, dude. Like
Horkoff's playing out of his mind.
He's like, I mean, I saw that. I think he might be either tied or right below maybe goal leader on Michigan. Yeah. And he's like a top 5 goal scorer in the NCAA, and he just got drafted, dude. Like, I don't know. Credit to Dubas, because right now, if you're a Pens fan and you're worried about the cupboards being empty like they've been the last couple of years, I mean, if you're Kevin Hayes, if you're Danton Heinen, if you are Sam Poulin,
oh god,
your seat's a little you're a little uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And remember, we have Avery Hayes, who is hurt right now, who is waiting in the wings. We have McGorty, who is waiting in the wings.
He scored on his first game back, man.
Rutger's been lighting it up down there. Hopefully, it won't be long till he's back up with the big club as well. Philly Koivunen needs to get healthy. But yeah, I mean, if you're a veteran on this team that is not producing, like Phil Tomasino, listen, that seat's going to get very hot very quick. And you better find your game, or you're going to be either on waivers or a healthy scratch, which I'm not sure which is worse. I guess you'd rather be a healthy scratch so you can still take that NHL paycheck.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, the young guys are coming. Tristan Broz, the latest. We know McGorty's coming. Kindle's here. Brunick's going to be back at some point. So a lot to go through here in the coming weeks when these guys keep getting called up.
So let's talk quickly about the Brunicky situation, because you mentioned what's going on with him, but I think that needs to be kind of unpacked a little bit there. So we talked about this, I think, a few episodes ago, and it seems that the Penguins have put their stake in the ground. Brunick's too good for the WHL. He's not going back to the WHL to play with 16, 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
He's been a healthy scratch long enough that he basically, correct me if I'm wrong, he qualifies for a conditioning stint in the minors, in the AHL, where he is actually not allowed to go play full-time. Is that correct?
Yeah, my understanding, yes.
Silly rule. I think that's, I don't know. Dude, it's the best league in the world, but sometimes I feel like they just really kind of they kind of give themselves a hard time with these silly rules like that. Yeah. Every league has their follies, I guess, but he's going to go down, and I mean, he's probably going to be inserted on like power play one top maybe top pairing, top 4 minutes, if right.
I would assume so. I mean, he's been down there before and had success. I would assume they're going to try to get him as much ice time as possible.
He needs to be playing, minutes wise. He needs to be playing what he'd be playing in the NHL if he didn't have, 1.5 Hall of Famers ahead of him on the right side, moving the puck. So that's going to, and we'll be monitoring that situation. I'm sure. I know I will, checking game scores to see what his minutes are looking like, because that's exciting stuff. You never really want to say you're excited to see someone get sent down, but in this specific scenario, Robbie, I'm happy that he's going to go down and play against full-grown men in a competitive league, and he's going to be getting, the minutes that he should be getting. It's just there's a logjam right now at that position. The Penguins are actually kind of fortunate to have Erik Karlsson and Letang in a season like the way it's going right now. I think that Dan Muse has breathed some new life into both of those guys. But yeah, Brunicky down in the AHL. And you said, let's talk about the other guy that got sent down, Phil Tomasino.
Yeah.
Where are you at with Phil? How uncomfortable are you if you're Phil Tomasino?
I mean, I don't see it happening in Pittsburgh unless there's a bunch of injuries.
Really? Yeah.
I think that that demotion gets you knocked below. McGroarty is really just getting his legs back down there. That's out of the picture. Kindle's not going anywhere. Broz has now been your replacement. Ville Koivunen is up there. Avery Hayes, you mentioned, is still in the offing. So for Phil Tomasino, I mean, man, you gotta think, unless there's some kind of rash of injuries, it's probably blouses for him in Pittsburgh, at least as an everyday player. Whether or not they trade him for something just to see what they can get, because nobody claimed him. So
I was shocked to hear that no one claimed him. You'd think that, the Penguins were quick to claim him last year, and he was a godsend for this team in a dark time.
Yeah,
when he came on last year.
Yeah, he was good when he came on last year, but I mean, when you're facing this much pressure from guys below you, you're gonna have to up your game, and he kind of just regressed, and it wasn't a hard decision for Dubas to make. You can't play just one good game out of about every 8 or 10 games, and that's what Tomasino was giving you. So it was Broz time at his expense. But yeah, I'm definitely for Tomasino. You have to wonder, short of injuries, how do you get your way back to the NHL at this point?
Yeah, man, because there was an easy case for him last year when this team was sniffing top 10 lottery pick type of deal last year. You got some hungry good players pushing through right now, and I think with Phil Tomasino, just the way he plays, kind of a one-dimensional player. And if he's not doing that one thing, he's certainly not giving you much else. That's no hate or anything like that, but that's just a knock on the guy's game. And you got to be wondering, how do you get your stock back up? Because like I said, you've got Sam Poulin and you've got Kevin Hayes and Danton Heinen ahead of you on the depth charts right now, and you've got those young hungry kids pushing through. So Sam Poulin actually playing against Seattle, I was kind of shocked. I saw who's 22. Oh, yeah, old for first round pick. What was it? Pick number 21.
Yeah, well, yeah, because him and Tomasino are back to back picks. So
old pick number 21 from 2019. But yeah, Sam Poulin. I mean, you feel for him too, kind of I was wondering if he'd get more looks under Dan Muse, maybe try to carve out a role in the NHL. And I don't mind him as a fourth liner, maybe just to see, but I don't know. Where are you at with Sam Poulin? We've talked about him a couple times, dude. Is he what do you call him? A 4A, or is he just is he a minor leaguer, you think?
Yeah, if you were talking baseball terms, he'd be like a quad A player, not good.
Quad A player,
too good for the true minors, but not good enough to break it through the big leagues. Just kind of a tweener, more or less. That's probably how I'd view Tomasino. He's just a tweener. Maybe he'll stick somewhere at some point, but when there's other guys pushing him, it's going to be hard unless you're playing really good hockey for a guy like him to keep that roster spot long term.
Would you throw Danton Heinen in that as well?
Yeah, Heinen's a little bit older. Heinen's kind of is what he is at this point. I think Heinen had some good times in Pittsburgh before in the original stint, but that scoring that he provided seems to have evaporated, and the speed's gone down a little bit. So I just don't think that. Again, a guy that was tearing it up at the AHL because he's way too good for the American Hockey League. But I wouldn't even.
He was leading the league in scoring.
Yeah, he was just dominating down there because he's probably a guy that on the right roster could fill in a fourth line role, fine.
Right.
I just don't know if that spots Pittsburgh with where he's at right now, where the Penguins are at roster wise.
Right. Yeah, I don't see it either. Kevin Hayes is another one of those guys that I'm not trying to pick on, but man, like you want him for his personality. It sucks that he's not like a fighter, because he'd be a great like tough guy with his like, he's so good in the locker room, and he's like he's by all means like a great dude. But I don't see him really helping the team out a whole lot right now. So and I'll get off the soapbox, and I'm not trying to pick, but hey, we watch this team, man. We're allowed to talk about these guys and just kind of talk about our observations here. It's no hate, but yeah, man, excited for Broz. That's going to be super cool. They're kind of running into a Buffalo team that's not. They're kind of getting their act together a little bit at this point, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, they've been better.
They're still Buffalo, but
I mean, yeah, it's still Buffalo. But they were really bad for quite a while. But they've definitely have settled the ship a little bit. But we'll see. Yeah, Tristan Broz should be in the lineup on Wednesday night against Buffalo, a team coming their first meeting. Usually some good games with them. Should be a really nice crowd. A lot of people home for the holiday. Should be a nice crowd, traditional Thanksgiving Eve game. But before we wrap this episode up, we'll jump back into the Thanksgiving talk. And
let's talk about what we're really passionate about.
Yeah, what we're really passionate about is food. But what is? You said you're a sides guy. What is your lineup of sides for Thanksgiving?
So my plate kind of resembles, if you look at a pie chart and it's all split 33.3%. I think, is that what I'm thinking? 360. Yeah. I got that. It's stuffing, a lot of stuffing. That's a good portion of it. I'm a stuffing guy, and I make my own stuffing, dude. And it's
okay.
I love it. And I've loved other people's stuffing. I mean, it's just pure carbs. It's just like soft, buttery, salty carbs. And then I've usually got the other piece of the pie there is going to be whatever potato action is going on. So mashed potatoes. I don't know if it's traditional, Robbie, but we'll go scalloped potatoes also sometimes.
Again, it's real for me. It's really hard to mess up potatoes. Like I'll eat a potato mashed, tatered, tot, baked, fried,
twice baked,
curly fried, twice baked, scalloped, au gratin. It's tough to really mess up a potato for me. So yeah, I do appreciate a good scalloped potato.
Oh yeah, and then the other portion, that other 33%. Is, I'll go obviously protein, like whatever mock turkey in there.
Yeah.
And you got to you have to add a little greens to your dish. Like it's just, usually we got green beans or asparagus or Brussels sprouts, and peas, that kind of goes in that other little section, kind of a miscellaneous. And that's where the protein goes. And then you coat the whole thing in gravy. I mean, the whole thing is,
yeah.
I mean, I'm a gravy. I could drink gravy, and that's where I'm at with my plate, man. Like the whole thing is, I put gravy on the scalloped potatoes. It's going on everything. So that's typically where I'm at. And man, I was looking online. I want to score one of those Penguins gravy boats, dude. They've done it 2 years now, I think. Do you have one of those?
No, I do not, but I know what you mean.
The Penguins give away a little gravy boat, man.
The Zamboni.
It's the little Zamboni gravy boat, dude. That's like breaking out the fine china.
That would be like breaking out the fine china, showing up with as a Penguin Zamboni gravy boat. That would be I'd have to say that'd be pretty legendary if you showed up to my dinner with a Penguins gravy boat. That would be
sick,
sick. That would be super sick. But yeah, I think they're giving them out. Yeah, tomorrow night or Wednesday night, at the game. But yeah, if they sold those online, they'd go in like seconds. Like you'd have to be like,
you'd have to set an alarm.
Yeah, but so snail, a pretty balanced meal. You got to have some greens. Like you need some color. But gravy is really what pulls it all together.
Mm-hmm.
The gravy is so important. You go with the vegan protein, which everybody knows that snail has a vegan diet. But for myself,
what are you working with, Robbie?
I have it's like a buffet on my plate. It's
okay.
Like we got
so I've heard people call it's a bag of groceries because it's just a bunch of different stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. A turkey. I get a little white and dark meat on mine.
I was going to ask you that. Are you white meat or dark meat? Because some people are.
Meat.
You do.
I need gravy for white meat. I prefer dark meat, but I get a little bit of both. Not being prejudiced on the meat here. It's going to be. We're getting a little mixture of both here.
Sure.
We're diverse. In my household. The mashed potatoes, the homemade stuffing. And then we got green bean casserole.
Okay,
throwing that in there, and then maybe
does gravy go on the green bean casserole?
I put gravy on everything.
Okay, thank God. Yeah,
my plate is to the point where it's very hard to not put the gravy's gonna get
the gravy's touching every corner of that.
Yeah.
Plate.
So, but yes, I will purposely put gravy on on everything. You gotta. The gravy is what it is. The dressing, it ties it all together.
It does.
But maybe a salad. If we have a salad, just for you got to get some greens in there, and then
you need a little fiber to help get that. That's a sturdy meal, man.
Yeah,
you need some greens to help coax that thing down.
Yeah, everything about Thanksgiving is carbs and just heavy. That's why you fall asleep afterwards.
Exactly.
But so we're gonna get that. And I'm trying to think what else we could throw in there.
Do you do rolls, like dinner rolls?
Yeah, we usually have dinner rolls.
Sometimes I find myself almost using the dinner roll as like a separate vessel, just like in just the trenches of gluttony. I pull a roll out and open it up, and I start making a sandwich out of it just on the spot.
You're just your Thanksgiving sandwich during the actual meal. A little turkey on there, a little mash, little stuffing, some gravy. Yeah, just having a whole Thanksgiving sandwich as you eat your Thanksgiving meal. I definitely can feel that as well. Or at the very end of the meal when you have some leftover gravy on the plate, you got to
just mop it up.
It's just like a sponge. You just sponge it up with a little butter, sponge it up with the roll, and you're good to go. But we're gonna have charcuterie boards.
Dude, that is an elite move. A charcuterie board on Thanksgiving is an elite move.
I'm making the charcuterie board, so
very nice.
Yeah, so that is my assignment for Thursday. So I'll be putting that together. But no, I mean, an array of food on Thanksgiving.
So you go pretty diverse. I go it's pretty even split, 33. But you go pretty just a little bit. You kind of have a charcuterie board of sorts on your plate.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest, my favorite part of Thanksgiving is the stuffing. So I definitely go a little heavier on the stuffing.
Yeah.
And then the big three are the turkey, the stuffing, and the mashed potatoes. And then you got your green bean casserole. I think we're having it this year, but my aunt makes caramelized carrots.
Nice. We've had those too. Yeah.
And they are they're like cocaine. They're you just pop them back and you can just get on them. Probably if we have that, that's going to take up a significant portion of the vegetable of it all. Green bean casserole, but the big three, stuffing takes up the biggest portion just because I love the stuffing, and then turkey and mashed potatoes. And mashed potatoes I eat throughout the year, so I'm not that's something that can maybe that doesn't have to be as much. and we make like a ton of mashed potatoes, so I'm gonna have some the next day too. Where stuffing is like certain meals, so stuffing, like I want that stuffing.
The stuffing only comes out twice a year in our family. It's Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I need to load up on it. The stuffing is kind of like you're not really allowed in society to have so many salty carbs like that just willy-nilly. That's kind of a special event thing. But so how long? This is my other question for you, Robbie, because while we're on the topic before we start to wrap this up, is how soon after the table is cleared are you diving back in for a leftovers plate? Because for me, it's maybe 2 hours.
Like for me, it's more about like picking food. Like it's just there. Like if I want to get a few slices of turkey, I'll just get a small plate, throw some turkey on it, some mashed potatoes, some gravy, and like that. But
like people haven't even gone home yet, and you might be dishing up.
Oh no, we don't have that. It's, like we don't. No, I'm not waiting for everybody else to leave. We're not. I'm not. There's no politeness when it comes to that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're just going. We're going full in. The food shoot's open all day long.
I love that.
Yeah, no. Now like a second meal, like I'll probably wait until a little bit more in the afternoon, just because I want to call it dinner, and then just be done for the day. Pretty much. But again, we're gonna have pie, we're gonna have desserts, we're gonna have all this other stuff that's gonna be able to be picked at all day.
Is the biggest lie at Thanksgiving people saying they're too full they say, "Oh, I'm too full for dessert." That's the biggest lie I hear every year.
No one's too full for dessert at Thanksgiving.
No, everyone says it. They just want, like you said, maybe our family has too much politeness.
No, you just want to feel better about yourself.
Yeah, it's just like you kind of lean back and go, "Oh, I'm a little full for."
But you don't want anybody to feel bad. They made all these pies. You don't want to make anybody feel bad. You want to be like, I gotta taste the pie. Like these people went through the time of making it. I gotta have the pie.
Well, also, if you miss that train, man, it's gone. You don't want to miss the pie.
No, the pie is important. I will say that the pie is very important. I'm a pumpkin pie aficionado. I like apple too, but we'll probably have pumpkins. Like apple, I can have at different times. Pumpkins like between like November and December. Like
we're doing apple pie, and this year we're actually doing maple pecan bars.
That sounds really good too.
I've never had them for a holiday before, but my sister's making some maple pecan bars, and you want to talk about a heavy dessert, man? That is a heavy little bar.
Yeah.
I might even need a little coffee almost with that, just to get the second.
You're going to send me a picture of those, because those sound delectable.
We might actually on our Twitter just have to throw out some plate pictures.
Yeah, we might. I might. Yeah, we might have to shoot me one, and we will see. We'll shoot those out because we spent a good chunk of this episode talking about our food. We got to put it on display for everyone.
Yeah, I can't disappoint. You got to show them what we're working with there.
That is about all I got, Snail.
I'm hungry now, dude.
Yeah, I am hungry, and unfortunately, we have like 72 hours until we can actually dive into all this good food. But do you have anything else you want to wrap this up? Whether it be hockey, food, weather, whatever.
I just think that I should have it pulled up in front of me. But I was going to say we are entering the week of Thanksgiving, and where are the Penguins at on the standings?
They are, I believe, about. I have it right here. They are, as of this writing, they have 3 games in hand over the Boston Bruins and are a point behind the second wild card spot. They are a point and also a point behind the Washington Capitals for the first wild card spot. And with 2 games in hand over the New York Islanders, they are 3 points behind third place in the Metro Division. The Penguins, obviously, with that long layoff going over to Sweden, will be trailing in the games category for a little while. But, hey, those are games in hand. You go out and win them. Hey, you're going to move up the standings. They currently have 25 points. They are 10-6-5. But, yeah, they are still better than what I would have expected. Again, if they are a bubble team come March, I will have considered the season a success. And yeah, let's just keep playing good hockey. And
if they get 2 points in Buffalo, they're in the wild card spot then?
I mean, assuming everybody around that, like, yeah, they'd have to have Boston and Washington not gain any more points between now and then.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'd say if they get 4 points out of these next 3 games, they would enter December in a wild card spot.
Okay, so if that's kind of the measuring stick where the Penguins are.
Yeah,
I guess we'll figure it out on Thanksgiving Eve. But I mean, hey man, if the measuring stick reads true, that is good news for the Penguins. And like you said, a great, very much welcome surprise, considering we were talking about maybe Gavin McKenna being a Pittsburgh Penguin come next. When is the draft? In June?
Yep.
So we'll talk more about it then. But Robbie, that's all I got.
All right, everyone. So for Snail, I am Robbie. I will not be able to record a recap after the Sabres game. That is Thanksgiving Eve. We will have to catch up after the holiday. So from everybody here at the Skating Penguin Network, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Eat up, drink.
Don't hold back.
No, don't hold back. Gluttony doesn't exist on Thanksgiving.
Morality doesn't exist at the dinner
there's
table.
no morals at the Thanksgiving table. It is a free for all. If you have to throw hands, you throw hands.
It's stat padding night.
It is stat padding. Yeah, you go in there, you dominate from the start, and then you just stat pad. And
you don't let up.
No, just keep your head in the swivel. And hey, elbows up.
Elbows up and put the pedal directly through the floor. And
don't let up. You're gonna get up early. It's gonna be 3-0, 4-1. Don't let up. Just keep peppering the net, and you'll continue to break through. But
happy Thanksgiving from us, man.
Yes, and most importantly, be safe, everyone. We'll talk to you guys after Thanksgiving. The Penguins have a weekend back-to-back as well, so we'll be back to talk about all that. So for Snail, I'm Robbie. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.